Okay, so hi, my name is Denize. Um, Denize, in is the way that we say it, we pronounce it in Portuguese. I am Brazilian. I live in São Paulo, which is not the capital. The capital of Brazil is Brasília. It's not Buenos Aires, guys. Well, that's a whole different issue, but well, my name is Denize. I'm 44 years old, and I just got home from the job that I'm doing to make a living, to earn money. Even though I'm a journalist, I have a major in communications as a journalist, and I worked with that for a long time, like a bit more than 15 years of my life. And I struggled keeping, like keeping myself as a, like a journalist or a press officer. I worked that job, if I can say that, like for like 7 years after I got my degree. And when I got my degree, all I really wanted was to work at a newsroom of like a big newspaper. And well, but the video really is not about that. The thing is, afterwards I did work at a newspaper, so by that time that was really important, so I could know I wouldn't die an old lady, like frustrated for not having worked at a newspaper. So I did, and I quit from there. And before that, I had like quit from being a press officer because I wasn't happy. I said the video wasn't going to be about that, and I keep talking about this, but well, wrapping this thing on the journalism matter, I myself decided not to work with this anymore because I understood that I wanted to write. Yeah, I'm a journalist, like in the writing area, not TV, not radio, not writing. And I understood after a really long journey that I I really wanted to become a writer, like a fiction writer that writes about social issues, like with a very critical perspective about society and stuff like that, like the human experience of being alive in this space and time. time in space. Whatever, you understand me, I think, or hope. So after 5 minutes, what I'm doing to earn a living at this point, and that was a decision that I made, because, and there I go explaining myself again, when I write things that doesn't come from my will, like from what I want to write, when I have to write on demand, even if I'm at, let's say, a newsroom, and I pitch a story to write about, that's not interesting for me anymore, because I want to write things that I make up or slash and experience, and that I can work that I have inside that I want to express, and I decide that I'm going to write about it. And I don't want anyone saying to myself, hey, we need you to write something on whatever, and it has to be this long, and we are going to pay you this much. Mostly they ask, how much would it be for you to write a report on this, that I don't even know how to do the math, and I'm not interested in that, because in the first place, I don't want to do I don't want to write anything that doesn't come from my own will. That's very important for me. And it's a no, like there's no negotiation. On the other hand, I'm not a writer, a fiction writer with... You cannot, at my point, earn a living as a writer here in Brazil. And even if you have some, if you are published and you have some like buzz and people are talking about your book and you have book clubs reading your book, that's not enough to make a living. You still have to work in different ways. And it's very hard for me, because I really wanted to be able. It would be much easier for myself if I could, like do jobs related to my major and get along with that, but I just have this very deep feeling that I am wasting my time, that I am getting my time not robbed. It's being what I mean by robbed is stolen, because in Portuguese it's the verb is roubar. So I feel my time being stolen from me, and it generates, if I keep doing, like accepting those works, those jobs, like freelancing, it gets to a point that it turns physical, and my chest is pressured, and I have to really, like to reach out to get some air, because it gets me out of breath, and I don't want to live like that. So therefore I don't do jobs related to communication, and I don't want to let people down also, like people that can recommend me for some, I don't know, editor, or for a magazine, for online newslet, or for like a consultation that needs reports to be done, and then let down those people that put effort in presenting myself. Hey, this I have this person, she can do a good job and all that, and then I get the thing to do, and in the middle of it, or really it happens really early in the beginning, my body starts to reject the thing, and I don't want to put no one, like let no one down, because I fear I'm going just to I will get the thing to write, but for the money. And then it happened once that I can remember now, maybe twice. I just left the thing in the before the middle. It said, I'm not gonna do this anymore, guys. You don't have to pay me anything. And it was a big stress to the people I let down. in the this happened to a magazine, and I don't want to do that, so it's not an option. What I've been doing, and what is this job that I started talking about in the beginning, and only now, after more than 10 minutes, I will say it. I will drop it out to you guys. Well, it's Uber. Whoa. Yeah, I've been doing rides for Uber. I've been working as a driver, Uber driver, yeah, here in São Paulo. I started back in March, because this happened also in 2018, and I've been an Uber driver that year for like 8 months. It wasn't really about the money. It was about spending time outside, and because I was taking care of my mother at the time, I took care of her, like as her caregiver for 6 years. And I've been out of the market, but I was out of the market before, because I decided at that time that I was going to write thoughts on money, because I'm very critical about our society, and I'm very, very critical, yeah. I'm not gonna get into that in this video, because as you can see, my thoughts are very I ramble a lot, and I'm not even sure if I'm going to upload this. If I do, it's going to be my first video. Well, so yeah, I got back from maybe I've been working for 3 hours and a half. It's a Friday afternoon. Because I'm in a situation. Well, I decided that I was going to do Uber for a living because my main reasoning is that, well, I'm not putting to the market my high abilities, like my high skills. No way. I decide what I do with that, and if I earn money with that, great. And I'm not going to negotiate to do things for money with my my skills that I understand as my most like I'm not finding the word in English to say this. So what I think, I do not think, I'm sure that I can do. That is my greater ability. I'm not trading that. So I can trade other things that I know to do, and that thing at the moment is driving. Yeah, I know how to drive. I can drive people around. So that is what I trade for money, my ability for money. Even though I'm capable of doing jobs in which I can earn a lot more money. And I'm choosing Uber instead because those things do not happen with my body. If I have to drive, I don't get feeling like it's crazy. I know it's even crazy for myself, but it is what it is. I don't get like this feeling of having my time stolen from me because it's a decision that I've made. Okay, what I'm going to do to earn money, I'm going to drive. So, okay, get up, go out and drive and make money. And I just got back from, it's a Friday evening, night, and it's hard. Even though I don't get the feeling of having my time being stolen from me, I get the feeling that, there's no way, no good way out of living in this society. There's no good way out. You lose whatever you choose. In my situation, you lose. And well, the thing is, I don't know where I'm going with this video, right? What a troubled person I've become. I've became. I don't know. I'm sorry. I think I may make mistakes in my English. Okay, so today I had a conversation with a professional that is with me, you know, working on my finances, because my finances are not looking good. I made some decisions and choices that got me to what I learned today. It's, well, translating it could be like I'm in a huge debt, if I can say that. Super endividamento, like super debt. So with financial institutions, from which I got very easy through the app, the you know, like the bank app, I got loans, and I believed I was going to be able to make that amount of money so I could pay the loans each month for, you know, well, there's 2 loans. One, I guess, of 24 months, which is 2 years, and another one for about that time too, or maybe 3 years. And it's so easy to take, you know, that of course, when you find like easy money like that, you are going to pay a lot for it. I really do know that now. But in the moment that I took those loans, I imagine that in the future I would had the money, you know, like the near future, doing Uber and, you know, working my ass off, you know, doing rides and stuff. And then life happens, you know, things happen, and I've been through a lot of losses lately. I don't know, not lately, like, well, I've been through a lot in the last 8 years. Wow. Going to 9 years now, like since 2015. So by the end of that year, my mother had a brain stroke, and she wasn't able to move the right part of her body. And by that time, I had quit from the newspaper. It's a major newspaper here in Brazil. Like major, I mean, it runs all over the country, and the political and economical sector. Sector is not a good choice of word, but whatever. Really pays attention to this newspaper. So I worked there, and I decided I didn't want to do that anymore because because of what I said before. I would stay a little bit more, but there was other things also was going on, and I decided to quit. I for sure I can say I am a serial quitter. Oh gosh, like a serial quitter. That's me. I I I wish I could fit. It would be easier. Or it's society says to me all the time I should fit, that I have to fit, but it's so I go and do Uber. Well, but then I was telling that in 2015, the end of that year, December, this major event took place in my family. My mother needing to be taken care of, and by that time I was living with my parents because I decided to write about what I wanted, and at the moment was talking about money, society, and I would put that online for people to support me if they wanted. And I had at the time like 8 or 10. I guess it was 8, because if it was 10 I would remember well, I guess, because it's like a round number, like 10. Maybe I think it was not 10, like it was about 8 people supporting me monthly with whatever amount they would decide to. And I was, doing that, and in order to, little by little get more supporters and people interested in what I had to say. And then that happened, my mother, and I was already living with them because, I was not earning a salary. So I went for their support, which they totally gave me. I was counting on them, my father mostly, like majorly. Is that a word? I don't think so, right? This is turning very, very long, right? And I'm not married, I don't have children. At that time I had a dog named Dog because breakfast at Tiffany's, Cat, his name Cat, so I named my dog Dog. But at that time he already was, like the family dog. He was living with my parents before I was, because moved and came back, moved and came back, and then dog just, he wasn't moving with me anymore. He just stayed with them, and he was very attached to my father. And so I not married, had no children, was living with them, didn't have a job because I chose that. I have a very hard time all my life having to think about, you have a professional life and a personal life. It's a very, very strange and bizarre idea. It had always been a bizarre idea. I'm, like a whole human being. I'm not a divide. Well, so I was doing that activity of writing what I wanted about, and people could support me. But obviously that was not enough to maintain myself. So I was at my parents', and that happened to my mother, and immediately I put myself in service to take care of her. And that was a really intense and beautiful and ugly and like wonderful and despair. Like it had despair, had love, had light and shadow. It was, taking care of my mother means to me more than any university or like major. My real university was taking care of my mother, as for my existence, to make myself experience and time and again learn how to deal with very difficult moments and decisions, and still choosing every day to take care of her. And I would choose to take care of her if I had to. Again, I would. So during that time, my father got sick with a type of blood cancer, and he was fine, like his health super fine, very healthy, and he had his head, like his mind was very clear. He had no medical issues, and then 4 years after my mother had the stroke, we found out he was with this cancer, and it was really aggressive, and in three months he wasn't here anymore. And that was really hard for him, for us. it was, the person ill, because my mother then, you know, she stabilized, but she had the thing of the motion with the right part of her body wouldn't return it very, very partially for the legs, nothing for the arm, for the leg, nothing for the arm, and it was hard. And I think that got a toll on my father, and that happened. But the person, like that everyone around would expect to pass away was my mother, not him. But then he went away. And after that, like a year and a half after that, dog went away. And if real life has a screenwriter, it's really like cliche. I don't know, the thing that you think it would only happen in stories, movies, books. No. Well, dog passed away on my father's what would had been, I don't know, his birthday. So dog went, I guess, I believe, to my father's encounter in his what would be his birthday, if alive. And then after that, like some months later, in the same month that my father passed away, my mother passed away on February 2022. My father passed away in 2020, and she went dog 2021. No. Yeah. In November 11th, and my mother in February 2022. So those are my, like my huge losses. And I used to rely a lot on my father, my mother, and I emotionally and financially, I'm not good with money. I need to deal with it. And then, well, talking about the loans. So this happened two years. It's been 2 years and some months that my mother went away, and everything came like as a cascade, because I didn't really grieve my father's death, because I had to be present to take care of my mother. And she very, like, often she forgot he had died, and she would ask about him. Where is Gedges? His name. It's not his. It wasn't his name. Like his last name. She would refer to him like that, and so, or she would say, "Where is Dad?" And why doesn't he come to see me? Is he traveling? He worked as in an airplane company when he worked. So a big part of his life was traveling, and my mom traveled with him sometimes, not working, like, because he worked with that and he could get tickets cheaper and stuff like that for family. I also did. That's why I speak English, because we lived in Los Angeles when I was a kid. I had four. I was 4 years old and years old. Yeah, and we came back to Brazil when I was 8. And English, I think stuck in a part of my brain that is related with where we put our mother language. I'm not saying that English is my mother language. No, it isn't. Portuguese. We speak Portuguese here in Brazil. We don't speak Spanish. That's why also our capital is not Buenos Aires, okay, guys? And I'm not saying that, my language, my mother tongue, my language. I was saying language. My oh gosh, that's embarrassing. My mother tongue is Portuguese, okay? I speak Portuguese. But it happened that when I was a child, I lived in the United States, and that's, when a child is developing a brain and learning things and I learned how to speak English for a child. And as English is all around the globe, movies, music, entertainment, all that, it's stuck. And we have English classes here also during school, and that's a whole subject. But my loans, right? I was talking about those. And yeah, I only could grieve my mother. I only could grieve, my father and dog and her after she passed away. And it's been I don't know how to describe the last 2 years and a half. I don't know. I worked with a friend at first, in as a seller, selling clothes that she makes. Not making enough money, very difficult situation. My parents had properties, state, yeah. And I lived in our apartment. I don't live there anymore, for emotional reasons mostly, because financially speaking it would be good if I did stay there. This is one of my cats, Mia. That's my dog. Her name is Inu, which means dog in Japanese. Yeah. So this is Inu. She has 7 months. This is Mia, and she has 8 months. And there's also Oba, which is there, licking his paw. And he met everyone alive. He is going to be 5 by September. And I'm going to be 45 by September. Well, yeah, I live with 2 cats and a dog. And that's also to another story. Where was I? Or where were we? If somebody's watching. If I did really upload this. Well, I started grieving and then struggling to live, and the apartment, yeah, I had to move, and I did move, and now I live in a very, very, it's a space with, this is the kitchen, there is the bathroom, and that here I have a porch. I don't know the name of this, balcony maybe, yeah. And that's it. And I rent. I know it doesn't make sense, and the apartment I am in the process to own, because I'm an heir. I have a brother, but he's not, like we are half brothers. My mother was the third relationship of my father that ended up with children. I'm the youngest, but I only have one brother alive. Well, the thing is, yeah, this apartment is in the process. It's mine, not legally yet, but I rented it out. So, but that's not enough to pay this rent. And that apartment is like a 2-bedroom. It has a spacious kitchen and an area for you to do your laundry. But it's in a different part of the district that I live in. So this area is pricier. Yeah. Well, I don't know where I'm going with this. I think I'm just trying to say that I'm in a considerable amount of debt that I won't be able to pay doing Uber. And I came to know today that there is a law here in Brazil that is the law of this, super debt. And you can try to negotiate with the institution saying, hey, I won't be able to pay you. I want to pay you, but I won't be able to pay this amount at this, interest and stuff, but let's negotiate. And if they say no, we do not accept, because there are like 3 or 4, if I'm able to still pay one of them, and that's my goal, there would only be like 3. And if I'm really lucky, only 2 institutions to negotiate, like financial institutions, banks. And if they say no, I can like go after this claim to this super debt law and ask for a judge to try and do this conciliation, and if there's no if the institutions stays saying, oh no, we won't accept what she has to offer, which it would be, of course, the amount that I took with some interest, but not all the interest that they sold the money for me, which is around 7% a month. I would be offering 2% in 4 years, like, to divide that in monthly payments. And if they don't accept, then the judge will decide. And the judge takes in account a thing called a minimal existential. It's the minimal that a person needs to live, like have a roof, food, and don't have heat, have conditions to live or to survive. And I got to know about this today with the professional that is helping me. Yes, I'm paying her to help me out. And at one point of the conversation today, I said, oh my God, my father was my bank. And she said, yeah, now you have to be your bank. And in Portuguese, we have a verb that is very similar to the word bank. That means that you get to, like, to take care of yourself. You got to. And yeah, that's the thing. I have to, at 44, at, at this time of my life, in which I, for society should be married with children and stuff like that. No, I have to learn how to take care of myself, and still, hopefully, take care of these creatures, beautiful creatures. They take care of me more than I take care of them. They save me, like, every day. This dog, she made me want to live. By the end of the year, last year, I wasn't there, like, wanting to stay doing life. But brought me back that, and now I see my life in decades. I want to live, and I want to live I can go to, like, the extremes very, very easily, right? In one moment, oh, I'm not able to do this, life. And in the other moment, oh, I want to have a really big and healthy life. Well, but, got me to this, she came as, I want to live, and there's the problem of money. And, well, I think this if this becomes a channel, it's probably a channel me venting to whatever who want to listen. And maybe also, if a lot of people watches this, maybe I can monetize the channel and get some money out of it too, just by being myself, sharing my struggles, to live in a very challenging time with all we have to face, like the biggest thing, I think, is, I'm sure, is climate change. This climate crisis, and there are many crises, like, going on, and it's super challenging to do life. And the money isn't getting distributed, it's getting concentrated more and more and more and more and more. And the people that concentrate the money thinks about, maybe live in Mars, stuff like that. So yeah, I come to vent to whoever want to listen, and hopefully this can be of help to others in a similar situation, even even if in different countries and contexts, but struggling to live in, because there's no place to run if you don't want to live under capitalism. There's no, there isn't. The whole planet, in the end of the day, works under this logic. Very, very little territories, like the ones protected for, like indigenous people, that are really the ones that we should be looking to learn. Like the biodiversity that still exists in this planet Earth are in areas protected for and by the indigenous people. So that means something. Well, if anybody watched this until now, please let me know if you have any suggestions for what I can do with my life. Please, if you thought about something ugly, do not say that. Yeah, I had another loss during this year. I lost a friend. And that is something I don't know when and if I will get through with that, because she got to the point that she couldn't do life anymore. It's super sad, I think. No one should, I don't know. I don't want to get controversial, but well, thank you for watching, if you did. And see you if I continue with the, venting out here, and also maybe recording like keeping track of this phase of my life, like keeping track of this phase of my life in which at the age of 44 I have to learn how to take care of myself. That's, like, it's a very simplistic way to say it, to put it. It has a lot of factors and involved, but to put it simple. Maybe this channel can be, keeping track of this process. Oh my God, how will it end up? I hope I am able to get out of that. I don't know how to pronounce it really well. I don't even know how to pronounce it really well, you know. Oh gosh. Woo! Oh God. Yeah, I think it's time to sorry, to end the video. Yeah. Thank you. Bye-bye. See you.